David Robinson's my name with CMPD. Is everybody up? So at approximately 4:55 p.m. this afternoon, University City officers responded to a shots fired call here in the 8600 block of Old Concord Road. Upon arrival, they located one male who had been shot and was deceased on scene. There was a female as well who sustained a non-life-threatening injury. She is currently at the hospital receiving care for her wounds. At this time, the details are a bit sketchy, but what I can tell you is that it appears that the male and female victims were known to one another. They were inside of a rideshare vehicle. They had been picked up close by and were traveling in the vicinity when an unknown vehicle approached their side in the vehicle and began firing multiple rounds into the rideshare vehicle. At that time, the rideshare driver pulled off to the side of the road, which is where you see the crime scene down the way. This is also where the police officers located and medical personnel located the male victim who was deceased. The female was transported, like I said, away. The witnesses associated with this event have been located. We still want to talk to anybody who may have seen anything pertaining to or related to this event. Our Crime Stoppers, 334-1600, 704-334-1600. We also were going to push in the release the lead detective and ways to get up with that detective. So what you see here, as you've seen many of you so many times, are, a robust response from our detectives from homicide, our crime scene investigators from our crime scene unit. Also, our victim assistance folks are here. Folks from the district attorney's office have been contacted, as well as assorted people that help with the investigation. What are your questions?
Do we know a motive, or does it seem like a random attack?
It does not appear to be random, but at this time I can't confirm that. But I can tell you that this is not typical of this area. It's not typical of anywhere, quite frankly, that somebody gets shot in a vehicle in this way. But there are leads that we're working now. Our detectives who work around the clock, and we've said that, I think, till we say it till we're blue in the face, quite frankly, that our detectives clock in and they work until it's done. And based on what our chief has said, our homicide unit, we're proud of the fact that approximately 80% of the time we locate and arrest the person or persons responsible for heinous violent crimes such as this. So,
you have the investigative team. Are there any surveillance, maybe traffic surveillance on the traffic towers or businesses that? These
are things that'll come out in the investigation. Obviously, I'm not privy to that, and even if I was, I couldn't say anything about that. And obviously, that's more of a.
Do we have the age of the male victim?
No, we'll be pushing that information as soon as the male victim's family has been contacted and supported. And that's the key. We can contact anybody. We're supporting the victim's family at this time, and when that information is available, we'll be able to push that out.
And you said the Uber driver wasn't injured?
No, the Uber driver or the rideshare driver was not injured, and that driver is cooperating and with us now.
Do you consider a threat to folks around the area? You said it's unusual. Do you think there's still a threat to folks who may be in and about?
No, I don't. And how can I say that if somebody's on the loose who's just committed a murder? But I take it that people will understand exactly what we're saying here, and that this is a situation that's somewhat unique in that it doesn't happen every day. Yes, ma'am.
You see the female victim, was she shot, you said?
Yes, she was shot. She sustained a non-life-threatening injury and was transported to the hospital where she's now currently receiving care.
Is it Uber or Lyft?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
I think everybody says Uber like, Xerox or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's a ride share. We'll obviously, as soon as we're able to do that, we will.
Can you speak to?
Last question.
We had 108 homicides last year. It's the beginning of February. Just any other message to reiterate how, your guys are trying to cut down on situations like these, and quite frankly, the fact of people not valuing life.
Well, I think, if police departments alone could prevent murder, we wouldn't be standing here, right? We live in a society where guns are accessible, where people who are willing to use them are accessible, and too readily available to solve just the most, quite frankly, meaningless conflicts with violence, sometimes deadly violence. And that's what you've seen, and that's what our chief has preached for the past, 18 months, quite frankly. And every death, every homicide, every time that somebody loses their life, police officers take that personally. And I think you see by the response here, and certainly what we bring to the table when we try to bring justice to a victim's family, that this is where we are. So yeah, it hurts, and it always will. And until we figure out a way to keep people from doing bad things to each other, we're going to still be out here talking about it.
And someone shot into the vehicle from outside?
Yes.
It wasn't someone who was riding in the vehicle, right?
No, this was an outside vehicle. Shots were fired from that vehicle into the rideshare, striking the victim and the female. All right, thank you.
all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Appreciate it.